The mask is off. The shadow has a face. The coward finally stepped out of the darkness, looked the wrestling world dead in its eyes, and still chose violence. Still chose to ambush. Still chose to strike Bron Breakker from behind like the calculating, ruthless predator they have been this entire time. And the audacity, the sheer, unfiltered audacity of this person to reveal themselves on Smackdown, on one of the biggest stages in professional wrestling, in front of the entire locker room, the entire production crew, the entire universe watching at home, and still not face Bron Breakker like a legitimate competitor. They revealed themselves and still attacked him like a thief in the night. Still crept through those backstage corridors like a venomous snake slithering through tall grass, waiting for the precise moment to sink their fangs in. That tells you everything you need to know about who this person truly is at their core. They are not a warrior. They are not a competitor. They are a saboteur, a destroyer, someone so consumed by obsession, so hollowed out by hatred, that revealing themselves wasn't about honor, it was about dominance. It was about sending the most chilling message possible to Bron Breakker and to every soul in that locker room. I have been here the whole time. I am not afraid of any of you. And I am nowhere near finished. That should make every single nerve in your body stand on end. Comment right now and tell me your immediate reaction when this went down, because I know you had one. And share this video immediately. Your wrestling circle absolutely cannot have this conversation without this breakdown. Do not let them sleep on this moment. Before we dissect every shattering detail of what transpired on Smackdown, if you are brand new to this channel, you just stumbled onto the most passionate, most electrifying wrestling analysis destination on YouTube. This is Ring Rumble 1, where we treat professional wrestling with the gravitas, the intensity, and the relentless energy it commands. We do not do surface level takes here. We go deep. We go hard. We go until every angle is uncovered and every truth is exposed. Slam that subscribe button right this second and detonate that notification bell so you are always first in line when we upload. Because on a seismic storyline like this one, you cannot afford to arrive late. Subscribe. Bell. Now, let's tear this apart. Let us reconstruct this moment from the very foundation, because the details here are not just important, they are revelatory. Smackdown. Backstage. The labyrinthine corridors that run beneath the spectacle of the main stage, the place where feuds are born, alliances are shattered, and the real politics of professional wrestling breathe and pulse away from the cameras and the crowd. This is where it happened. This is where the individual who has tormented Bron Breakker for weeks, who invaded a hospital room, who orchestrated calculated ambush after calculated ambush, finally peeled back their disguise and let the world see their face. And the manner in which they did it is what separates this moment from every ordinary wrestling angle we've witnessed in recent memory. There was no dramatic music. No elaborate entrance. No promo cutting through the arena where the crowd could react and the moment could be manufactured into something palatable. No, this reveal happened in the raw, unpolished reality of a backstage confrontation. Cameras caught it almost accidentally, the way the most consequential moments in wrestling always seem to be captured. Not on a grand stage with perfect lighting, but in the gritty, authentic underbelly of the show where the truth lives. And when that attacker stepped out of the shadows, when their identity crystallized from mystery into concrete, breathing reality, the air in that entire building shifted. Because this is not just about who they are, it elevates him. His spear is a thunderclap. His power is gravitational. His presence in a room, in a match, in a segment, it commands everything around it. This is the man someone has been methodically, mercilessly hunting. And now we know who. The revelation of this attacker reframes every single moment we've witnessed over the past several weeks. Every ambush, every calculated strike, every shadowy maneuver suddenly snaps into crystalline focus because now we understand the motivation. Now we understand the wound that festered into this obsession. Now we understand why this person could not simply challenge Bron Breakker to a match, stand across that ring, and compete. Because some wounds are too deep for competition. Some grievances have rotted so profoundly beneath the surface that they transcend athletic rivalry and mutate into something far darker, personal annihilation. This attacker does not want to defeat Bron Breakker. Defeating him would be insufficient. Pinning his shoulders to the mat for a 3 count would feel hollow and empty to someone burning with this level of internal inferno. They want to dismantle him. Psychologically, physically, professionally. They want to strip away every layer of Bron Breakker's identity, his confidence, his momentum, his sense of safety, until there is nothing left but a shattered version of the man who once seemed utterly unstoppable. And the terrifying reality. It's working. Think about everything Bron has been subjected to. The initial ambush that sent him to that hospital. The unconscionable follow-up attack in his hospital room, a sanctuary violated with zero remorse. And now this, a backstage assault on SmackDown that happened not under the cover of anonymity, but with the attacker's face fully exposed, fully visible, fully accountable. That escalation is not accidental. That is a psychological blueprint being executed with frightening precision. By revealing themselves and still attacking, this individual has communicated something profoundly unsettling. They are no longer operating from a position of fear or secrecy. They have transcended the need for a disguise. They are telling Bron, telling WWE management, telling the entire roster, I do not need to hide anymore. I am beyond consequences. Come find me if you dare. That is not the language of someone who can be reasoned with or appeased. That is the declaration of someone who has mentally crossed into territory from which there is no peaceful return. Now let us examine the method of this backstage assault, because how this attacker struck Bron is just as significant as the fact that they revealed themselves. Once again, and this is the thread that runs through every single attack in this saga, they did not meet Bron Breakker face to face and engage him in a straightforward physical confrontation. Even with their identity now exposed, even with the veil completely lifted, they still chose the ambush. They still exploited positioning, timing, and surprise. They still maneuvered Bron into a moment of vulnerability before unleashing devastation. That speaks to an almost clinical understanding of Bron Breakker's capabilities. This attacker knows, with absolute certainty, that Bron Breakker in a fair, fully alert, fully prepared encounter is a mountain that cannot be climbed by conventional means. So they refuse to try conventionally. They are willing to expose themselves on live television and still commit another assault, then no one backstage is truly untouchable. The psychological atmosphere in that locker room right now must be electric with tension. Who is aligned with this attacker? Who secretly harbors sympathy for their cause? Who is terrified? Who is calculating whether to intervene on Bron's behalf or remain diplomatically neutral to avoid becoming the next target? These are the invisible tremors that ripple through a roster when something this seismic occurs. In WWE, whether intentionally or organically, has created a powder keg backstage situation that could detonate in any direction at any moment. Now, and this is the part that has me most captivated, where does Bron Breakker go from here? Because there is a version of this story where the assault breaks him. Where the accumulation of these attacks, the relentlessness of this pursuit, the psychological warfare of being hunted by someone who now operates in broad daylight, where all of that compresses into doubt, into hesitation, into a Bron Breakker who second guesses himself before he unleashes. But I do not believe that version exists. Not for this man. What I believe, what every fiber of my wrestling instinct tells me, is that this backstage assault on SmackDown has ignited something within Bron Breakker that this attacker catastrophically underestimated. There is a specific kind of fury that is born not from anger but from clarity. The clarity that comes when the enemy finally has a face. When the shadow becomes solid. When the hunt has a destination. Bron Breakker now knows exactly who did this. He knows the face. He knows the name. And every ounce of confusion, every sleepless night of wondering, every moment of helpless frustration, all of it has now been incinerated and reborn as pure, incandescent, laser-focused rage. The attacker thought revealing themselves would demonstrate superiority. They thought showing their face would paralyze Bron with fear or overwhelm him with the psychological weight of knowing. They did not paralyze him. They liberated him. And when a liberated, fully focused, ancestrally fueled Bron Breakker comes hunting for you, there is no hospital, no backstage corridor, no shadow deep enough to protect you from what is coming. This is the moment this entire saga has been building toward. The curtain has been torn back. The enemy is visible. And the reckoning is inevitable. Drop your most scorching reaction in the comments. I want every theory, every emotion, every prediction you've got. Who do you think orchestrated all of this? Was anyone else involved? And where does this collision ultimately end? Share this video right now. Send it everywhere. This conversation is the only one that matters in wrestling today. Ring Rumble 1. We don't just watch wrestling, we feel it. See you in the next one.